Okay, so picking up, I'm just going to go over how to adjust your page numbering so that it works for your document. If you do the same thing I was showing you last time, right click on your page, go to numbering and section options, have the start section clicked on, start page numbering at 1. This means it's going to start the section at that page that you have indicated, and that it's going to start the page numbering at the increment that you want. So I have it be at 1 because I want this to be the first page. I also changed the style to be 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 because I like to have that the double index throughout the document instead of have it change. So I'm going to hit OK, and then if you go into your page, it should be adjusted and have the 0, 1 and 0, 2 on the second and third pages. If you go to the first page, there should be no numbering, and then this will be carried and transmitted throughout. I also unclicked the allow document pages to shuffle and allow selected spread to shuffle so that I could drag these pages up because it defaulted to put it just above like the one is represented here. When you have this unclicked, you can then move the pages around as you like instead of having it follow the direct copy of your master. So with that in mind, I'm going to go up to my first page that I have, and I'm going to bring in an image. Before I do this, I'm going to save my file so that all of my work isn't lost, and I'm going to call this Indesign Tutorial 01. And now we're going to bring in an image. So I'm going to go to File, Place, and place in an image that I have. So now what happens, which I briefly covered before, is if I just click hold down Shift and click this, it'll bring it in at the resolution that the image is at itself. However, I want to scale this, so if you hold down Control and Shift and pull it, it'll scale the picture proportionate to what it came in as. If I want to copy this exact same size, what I do is I can make a copy, and then also place another image, and it'll come in at that fixed scaling or size that I had before. Also a note, if you want this image to be at the exact same space on this page, all you do is Control C, then click in that page that you want it to be. You'll see it highlighted over here. Go to Edit, Paste in Place, and then this will put it in the exact location. If you try to do this for here and click over into this page, when you place it, it will put it to this left-hand side because this is a left-hand page. The trick that I sometimes do if I need it to be uniform is to make some kind of guide and then manually put this into this other page so that I know that this location is the same as in this space, it's just over into the right-hand side. And now if you want to copy this and paste it here, you have a left and a right reference that are the same. I'm going to delete this and then show you how to adjust image sizes. So I've covered before the black arrow, the select arrow, and then the direct select arrow. If you use the black arrow, which is your V shortcut, you're going to see that there'll be a blue highlight around your image. This is pretty much like a cropping tool within InDesign. It won't change the scaling of your image. If you ever click it and you're like, I can't get back to this original size precisely, if you right click, go to Fitting, go to Fit Frame to Content, and it'll snap to that extent. To change the scaling of this and keep some kind of crop smaller than the image itself, if you hit your A or the white arrow and click that, then you can begin to play with the scale of it and not touch the way that it's cropped within your page. To reset this, also you can go to Fitting, Fit Content to Frame, because we had just moved the content and not the frame itself, and it'll go back to its original. To move them at the same time is Control Shift, and then you can adjust them both simultaneously. So with this in mind also, I want to show you how to put a text into the bottom corner and change it individually within your document. So if I just put some kind of title text image here, and then throw this to another layer, because everything's on one layer right now, so I'm going to call this text master, and then create one more and call it text page. This is for like local manipulation instead of your column setups. And I'm also going to rename my to be images so it's clear. You can also create one for your column text so that when you have that text there, it's separated from the other text that you have. So right now, this guy is set to the blue layer, which was the images. You can tell by it's highlighted by the pin icon and that it's highlighted blue. So I'm going to hit Control-C, delete it, and then also put it to the red layer by clicking on that. Hit Edit, Paste in Place, and it'll bring it back in. So now if I go over into my pages and go to this first page, you'll see that it's indicated there. So in case that you want this to be in the same spot or at the same frame, what you can do is hit Control-Alt or Control-Shift again. It'll activate that, and now it's locally editable in your page. I'm going to Control-C this, go to my layers, and go to text per page, and then place it in paste, then turn this off and delete that text master that I had created. So now if I turn on my text page, I can manipulate this in the same location throughout my entire document. So we'll just call this 01 so that it's clear. So now before I print my document, what you want to do is turn off the text master so it won't be shown from that master page throughout your document, and it'll just be that local text in the same location and the same font that you had specified. So with that, I think that's about it. Actually no. If you go over into your links, this is the important thing about saving and packaging your work. So right now you see that we have this image that I brought in and that there's an 01 indicated. This means that this file is linked to the location that I had placed it from in my desktop. So therefore, if I were to give this file to somebody else just through saving, all of the images that I have in it would not be transferred because they're not linked to that file anymore. The way that we do this in InDesign is that we package our file. So if I have it saved, you can also edit these, by the way, if you click it and you go to Relink, or Go to Link, or Directly Edit Link. All of these options down here at the bottom are how you can refresh this if you've lost it or that it's not reading. It'll show you an error here if it's not linked, but we covered this in a previous example. So if you go to File, make sure it's saved, and then go to File, Package. And what this does is it'll prompt you all of the individual information that you have. You'll see that there's one link found, but there's 0 missing and 0 inaccessible, so there's no errors. So I'm going to hit OK. This is fine. Hit OK. And then I'm going to create a folder. No, we can just leave it as is. It'll be called the InDesign Tutorial 01 folder. So if I package this, hit OK, and then close out my file. Then if I go into my desktop, you'll see that I have the InDesign Tutorial 01 folder there indicated. And if I double click within it, you see not only the InDesign file, but all of the links, which is that image, and my fonts that I was using within it. So the confusing thing is that you keep your InDesign files clean, because if I go to my original file for this still exists. However, I've packaged it so now there's a duplicate of this file. So always make sure that you remove the one that you don't need. So usually work within that packaged folder. So I'm just going to delete this for now to keep everything clean and only use the reference of my packaged folder as where I'm going to work from. So if I were to open this, you'll see everything is there as we've indicated. It's all clean and good. Also, just as a note to preview your work and to see how it's looking and will be printed, if you go to View, Display Performance, you can see it as it's always brought in a lower resolution, so you can go to high quality display and it'll read it at the true resolution, but it takes a lot of processing power. Then you can also go to screen mode and you can go to preview and it'll hide all your guides for you. And then you can also go to presentation and flip through it individually and see how it would look. So I think if I were to go back in and edit this, I would pull this off of the side because it looks a little bit tight and then make it more related to my image. But for now this is fine just as a start. So thank you and have fun.